Universitas Logistik and Business International, established under the auspices of Yayasan Pendidikan Bakti Pos Indonesia, is a higher education institution born from the merger of Politeknik Pos and STIMLA. We are an educational institution that focuses on logistics, supply chain management, and electronic commerce. We also have a strong relationship with Pos Indonesia Company in the areas of services, courier logistics, and financial transactions. We offer a wide range of academic programs, ranging from diploma to Bachelor of Applied Science and bachelor's degree, organized through the vocational school and the Faculty of Logistics, Technology, and Business. Join us in shaping the next generation of leaders, creating the best talents for a brighter future.
Dengan penuh pengabdian.
Nias, Gunung Sitoli,
Komodo, Nusa Tenggara,
Kutacane, Aceh,
Tanjung Redep, Kalimantan Timur.
Terima kasih untuk ULBI yang sudah mendidik anak-anak kami, sudah menjadi manusia-manusia yang luar biasa sehingga mendapatkan kesempatan untuk bekerja di PT Pos.
Ditambah lagi saya hitungannya sekarang bisa kerja sebelum saya wisuda.
Pos Indonesia.
Terus untuk teman-teman semuanya juga yang berminat untuk masuk di ULBI boleh banget, karena siapa tahu teman-teman bisa punya rezeki kayak aku, ketika lulus nanti bisa langsung ditempatkan dan langsung bekerja di seluruh Indonesia.
Universitas Logistik dan Bisnis Internasional berdiri di bawah naungan Yayasan Pendidikan Bakti Pos Indonesia, merupakan perguruan tinggi hasil penggabungan dari Politeknik Pos Indonesia dan Sekolah Tinggi Manajemen Logistik Indonesia. ULBI adalah lembaga pendidikan yang berfokus pada bidang logistik, manajemen rantai pasok, dan tata niaga elektronik. Kami memberikan pendidikan yang berkualitas dan relevan dengan kebutuhan industri, serta memiliki koneksi yang kuat dengan PT Pos Indonesia di bidang jasa kurir, logistik, dan transaksi keuangan. Pilihan jenjang pendidikan Diploma 3, S1 Terapan, dan Sarjana di dalam Fakultas Sekolah Vokasi dan Fakultas Logistik, Teknologi, dan Bisnis. Bergabunglah bersama kami, Creating Best Talent for Bright Future.
bangsa berdasarkan Pancasila. Siap mengemban amanah, penyaji insan kompeten, kritis kreatif dan inovatif, berjiwa satria sejati. Chandra di muka menunggu, karakter dan keterampilan, disiplin dan kerja keras, menetaskan andalan di peradaban dunia yang syarat dengan dinamika, berbentuk kualitas ilmu dan integritas, sambut hari depan dan gemilang.
Uncertainty in the global economy requires supply chain to be resilient.
Smart logistics and digital supply chains drive innovations, efficiency, and sustainable growth.
From raw materials to the final delivery, logistics ensure business stay competitiveness in globalized world.
It is therefore in the current global economy, we require experts who can manage uncertainty in the global supply chain.
With e-commerce booming, businesses need skilled professionals to optimize logistic operations worldwide.
Companies nowadays are investing heavily in supply chain innovations, creating endless opportunities for skilled professionals.
Enhance your career prospect with CILT International Certification embedded in our program.
Our curriculum is aligned with industry needs, combining theory with real-world application.
Gain practical experience of logistic and supply chain through case studies, simulation, and industry projects.
Our strong industry partnerships provide valuable internship and career opportunities for all of the students.
Come and join our master program to enhance your expertise in logistics and supply chain management.
Be sure to be part of ULBI, an institution that blends academic excellence with real-world industry applications.
Your journey to excellence in logistics and supply chain starts at ULBI.
Learn from international experience faculty with deep logistics and supply chain expertise.
Your journey to a successful global career in logistics and supply chain starts here in ULBI.
empower your career and logistic with ULBI.
Join me to be logistic professional with ULBI.
Universitas Logistik and Bisnis International, established under the auspices of Yayasan Pendidikan Bakti Pos Indonesia, is a higher education institution born from the merger of Politeknik Pos and STIMLA. We are an educational institution that focuses on logistics, supply chain management, and electronic commerce. We also have a strong relationship with Pos Indonesia Company in the areas of services, courier logistics, and financial transactions. We offer a wide range of academic programs, ranging from diploma to Bachelor of Applied Science and bachelor's degree, organized through the vocational school and the Faculty of Logistics, Technology, and Business. Join us in shaping the next generation of leaders, creating the best talents for a brighter future.
Dengan penuh pengabdian.
Nias, Gunung Sitoli,
Komodo, Nusa Tenggara,
Kutacane, Aceh,
Tanjung Redep, Kalimantan Timur.
Terima kasih untuk ULBI yang sudah mendidik anak-anak kami, sudah menjadi manusia-manusia yang luar biasa sehingga mendapatkan kesempatan untuk bekerja di PT Pos.
Ditambah lagi saya hitungannya sekarang bisa kerja sebelum saya wisuda.
Pos Indonesia.
Terus Terus untuk teman-teman semuanya juga yang berminat untuk masuk di ULBI boleh banget karena siapa tahu teman-teman bisa punya rezeki kayak aku ketika lulus nanti bisa langsung ditempatkan dan langsung bekerja di seluruh Indonesia.
Universitas Logistik dan Bisnis Internasional berdiri di bawah naungan Yayasan Pendidikan Bakti Pos Indonesia, merupakan perguruan tinggi hasil penggabungan dari Politeknik Pos Indonesia dan Sekolah Tinggi Manajemen Logistik Indonesia. ULBI adalah lembaga pendidikan yang berfokus pada bidang logistik, manajemen rantai pasok, dan tata niaga elektronik. Kami memberikan pendidikan yang berkualitas dan relevan dengan kebutuhan industri, serta memiliki koneksi yang kuat dengan PT Pos Indonesia di bidang jasa kurir, logistik, dan transaksi keuangan. Pilihan jenjang pendidikan Diploma 3, S1 Terapan, dan Sarjana di dalam Fakultas Sekolah Vokasi dan Fakultas Logistik, Teknologi, dan Bisnis. Bergabunglah bersama kami, Creating Best Talent for Bright Future.
Uncertainty in the global economy requires supply chain to be resilient.
Smart logistics and digital supply chains drive innovations, efficiency, and sustainable growth.
From raw materials to the final delivery, Logistik ensure business stay competitiveness in globalized world.
It is therefore in the current global economy, we require experts who can manage uncertainty in the global supply chain.
With e-commerce booming, businesses need skilled professionals to optimize logistic operations worldwide.
Companies nowadays are investing heavily in supply chain innovations, creating endless opportunities for skilled professionals.
Enhance your career prospect with CILT International Certification embedded in our program.
Our curriculum is aligned with industry needs, combining theory with real-world application.
Gain practical experience of logistic and supply chain through case studies, simulation, and industry projects.
Our strong industry partnerships provide valuable internship and career opportunities for all of the students.
Come and join our master program to enhance your expertise in logistics and supply chain management.
Be sure to be part of ULBI, an institution that blends academic excellence with real-world industry applications.
Your journey to excellence in logistics and supply chain starts at ULBI.
Learn from international experience faculty with deep logistic and supply chain expertise.
Your journey to a successful global career in logistics and supply chain starts here in ULBI.
Empower your career and logistics with ULBI.
Join me to be logistic professional with ULBI.
Universitas Logistik and Business International, established under the auspices of Yayasan Pendidikan Bakti Pos Indonesia, is a higher education institution born from the merger of Politeknik Pos and STIMLA. We are an educational institution that focuses on logistics, supply chain management, and electronic commerce. We also have a strong relationship with Pos Indonesia Company in the areas of services, courier logistics, and financial transactions. We offer a wide range of academic programs, ranging from diploma to Bachelor of Applied Science and bachelor's degree, organized through the vocational school and the Faculty of Logistics, Technology, and Business. Join us in shaping the next generation of leaders, creating the best talents for a brighter future.
Katolik,
Komodo, Nusa Tenggara.
Kutacane, Aceh.
Tanjung Redep, Kalimantan Timur.
Terima kasih untuk ULBI yang sudah mendidik anak-anak kami, sudah menjadi manusia-manusia yang luar biasa sehingga mendapatkan kesempatan untuk bekerja di PT Pos.
Ditambah lagi saya hitungannya sekarang bisa kerja sebelum saya wisuda.
Pos Indonesia.
Terus untuk teman-teman semuanya juga yang berminat untuk masuk di ULBI boleh banget karena siapa tahu teman-teman bisa punya rezeki kayak aku ketika lulus nanti bisa langsung ditempatkan dan langsung bekerja di seluruh Indonesia. Bisa jalan.
Universitas Logistik dan Bisnis Internasional berdiri di bawah naungan Yayasan Pendidikan Bakti Pos Indonesia, merupakan perguruan tinggi hasil penggabungan dari Politeknik Pos Indonesia dan Sekolah Tinggi Manajemen Logistik Indonesia. ULBI adalah lembaga pendidikan yang berfokus pada bidang logistik, manajemen rantai pasok, dan tata niaga elektronik. Kami memberikan pendidikan yang berkualitas dan relevan dengan kebutuhan industri, serta memiliki koneksi yang kuat dengan PT Pos Indonesia di bidang jasa kurir, logistik, dan transaksi keuangan. Pilihan jenjang pendidikan Diploma 3, S1 Terapan, dan Sarjana di dalam Fakultas Sekolah Vokasi dan Fakultas Logistik, Teknologi, dan Bisnis. Bergabunglah bersama kami, Creating Best Talent for Bright Future.
Universitas Logistik dan Bisnis Internasional, wadah kegiatan pembangun bangsa berdasarkan Pancasila, siap mengemban amanah, penyaji insan kompeten, kritis kreatif dan inovatif, berjiwa satria sejati. Chandra di muka hadapan, karakter dan keterampilan, disiplin dan kerja keras, menetas tangan dalam di peradaban dunia yang syarat dengan dinamika, berbentuk kualitas ilmu dan integritas, sambut hari depan dan gemilang.
Uncertainty in the global economy requires supply chain to be resilient.
Smart logistics and digital supply chains drive innovations, efficiency, and sustainable growth.
From raw materials to the final delivery, Logistik ensure business stay competitiveness in globalized world.
It is therefore in the current global economy, we require experts who can manage uncertainty in the global supply chain.
With e-commerce booming, businesses need skilled professionals to optimize logistic operations worldwide.
Companies nowadays are investing heavily in supply chain innovations, creating endless opportunities for skilled professionals.
Enhance your career prospect with CILT International Certification embedded in our program.
Our curriculum is aligned with industry needs, combining theory with real-world application.
Gain practical experience of logistic and supply chain through case studies, simulation, and industry projects.
Can you hear me?
Our strong industry partnerships provide valuable internship and career opportunities for all of us.
We are about to start in a minute.
I'm just checking my headphone.
Come and join our master program to enhance your expertise in logistic and supply chain management.
Yeah, Newman.
Be sure to be part of ULBI, an institution that blends academic excellence with real-world industry applications.
Okay, allow me to. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to ULBI proudly presented by Universitas Logistik and Business International ULBI and initiated by our rector, Professor E. Nyoman Pujawan. We are very honored to have your presence here today on our 9th episode. My name is Widya Resdiana, and I will be your host for today's lecture. On behalf of ULBI, I would like to extend our deepest appreciation to our adjunct professor, Dr. Kamrul Ahsan, Ph.D. from RMIT University, Australia, who will be delivering today's lecture. Okay, before we move forward, please allow me to remind all participants to mute your microphone during the session. Use the Zoom chat room for any questions during the Q&A session later. As we have very limited time, please try to ask immediately, yeah? And please rename your Zoom ID with your full name and institution. For your information, this lecture is free and open to all ULBI students and anyone interested, like from industries or any other institutions and universities. We thank you all for joining us today. So, on behalf of our rector, Professor Nyoman Pujawan, I officially start our day's lecture. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker for this afternoon, Dr. Kamrul Ahsan. He's our adjunct professor and a senior academic from RMIT University, Australia. He's going to deliver a lecture on market demand of competencies for logistics and supply chains professionals. Okay. Hello, Dr. Kamrul.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kamrul Ahsan. Thank you, Vidya, to introduce me with the audience. I'm really glad to be here virtually to see all of you, but unfortunately, Newman is not available today, but it's okay. So before I start, I'll apologize for my voice because I just had my flu and COVID. Now I'm okay. I will cough sometimes. Pardon me. So, yeah, that's me. And before I start, I will give you some idea about today, what I'm going to talk. I will talk about today's world. We talk mostly we think about our students, their job, and then what they will do in the future. This is all about supply chain skill competency. So this is a research that I have been doing for long. I do conduct research in competencies in different areas, including project management, supply chain, and this is part of that. So I will share some results, and I will share some direction as well. This is not purely academic research. I will say it is in between. I will talk more about practical aspects, that what are the skills, what are the competencies that are required in the job market, and how, as an academic, we can prepare our students, and how can we prepare our courses and programs, and also the students or those who are working in the industry, what type of skills they need to upgrade, what type of skill they need to, have within their portfolio. So this is the objective. So yeah, I have, this is my one of the many presentation on competencies, but on top of competency research, I do research in supply chain sustainability, mainly social and environmental aspects. I do research in procurement, project management, and IT and AI related aspect in supply chain, I would say digital supply chain. So this is what we do. And we have a big program in RMIT. We have a very strong supply chain program where we start from TAFE to undergrad, master's, and PhD. So our RMIT supply chain program is very strong in terms of every aspect, teaching and research, I will say. So here I am today. I will not waste much time. So this is what about me. And then you see the university where I am teaching. Here I have been here I've been teaching around 20 years. And last 10 years I'm with RMIT. Before I was at Victoria Uni, I taught at Auckland. So I have been in many countries. I studied in Japan and Bangkok, and yeah, many. I'm a global citizen, you can say. So here, the university where I teach is RMIT, is also doing well in terms of global ranking. You see that we have been improving our ranking in QS. It is now to 123rd. And then about me, I have explained to you, and then now it's all about, I'm going to the presentation. So what I will do, first of all, I will talk about logistics and supply chain, the global situation, what is happening now, what type of demand we have in the market. Then I will talk about what type of research I'm doing and what are the results I have, and then some conclusions. Look, this is an industry, after COVID, actually, everyone is talking about supply chain. I remember before COVID, I used to stand up in front of high school and college students and explain their parents what is supply chain and logistics. It was really hard. Now, after COVID, everyone talks about supply chain, from the prime minister to the delivery man. So we know what is supply chain. And COVID taught us that, hey, this is an area where everyone needs to, policymakers, industry people, we need to look at. We need to look at the skills. We need to look at the people who are working. We need to develop this area. So here we are. So nowadays it's very popular. So I will say that the size of global logistics supply chain market is increasing. You see, in 2020, it was in the US dollar, it's around 8,796 billion. Now it's increasing and projected to 13,700 billion by 2028. Look, if it is in Australia we have a different market, because my research topic is about Australia. So that's why I'm giving you some background. So in Australia, basically all days it was transport and logistics. And nowadays we talk about supply chain and logistics all together. So the industry after COVID, during COVID, it was declared as one of the essential industries. And now this industry is contributing 5% of our GDP and employing around 600,000, around 500,000 people. And it is predicted to grow 6.5% by this year. And the current government is emphasizing more on skills and competencies and talent management in this area because we have skill shortage. And I was happy that day I was looking for Indonesian logistics market. I came up with the data that in 2024, the size of the market was around US 39 billion. That's the source. So what do I see that the industry is growing, and then logistics and supply chain management jobs also are in need, and mainly in the areas of manager, analyst, planner, the coordinator in these areas. They are a bit mid-level and upper level and entry level, different types of jobs. So in Australia, we found that this sector is facing an acute talent shortage. And why? Because old days, most of those people who are working in transport and logistics sector, they are going to retire. This is one issue. And some people, they think it's hard working sector, and many women, they don't want to work in this industry, but they think it's male dominated industry. And then many organizations, they are not having enough talent management strategies to retain or to keep or to attract new graduates. So the industry is facing some skill shortage, and it's hard to find the right supply chain talents with necessary skills and competencies so that they can work properly to do their job. But it happened to be like people are going for casual, they don't have commitment. So it's really hard in this sector. So if you look at the current research trend, we are doing a good job in terms of, research on resilience, mainly after COVID. We are doing research on agility, and everyone is talking about technology, sustainability, but not much research has been conducted in talent management area. This is, we can say, human resource side of supply chain. In a research at MIT Sloan Management Review, it was emphasized that organization and leadership are hyper-focused on developing supply chain resiliency, but not much on skills and competencies. So here you see there is a missing link. So that's the idea. So why these talents are necessary? Because, if you don't have people to run the business, how can you compete with others? If you don't have people to run the business, people means the right skill, with the right skill. It's really hard to work for your customer to fulfill their demand. So the supply chain and logistics management and human resource literature has identified that hiring the right people at the right time for the right job, according to employees' competencies, is the source of firms' competitive advantage. So now this is something we have to be careful. That's why if you don't have right people, it can result in terms of loss of business to competitors, delays in developing new orders. Basically, customer service will go down, and it will be hard to meet quality standards in terms of product and service. So there is a need here to have the right people for the right job for their business growth. So because of that, we thought that it is good to examine the market demand of competencies for different logistics and supply chain management jobs, LSCM, logistics and supply chain management jobs. So we focused on these 4 research questions. One is about what are the critical competencies are in demand for different supply chain positions in the market. Then what are the groups of competencies are in the market, market are looking for. Then research question 3, we are thinking about technology related. We are talking about technology. Actually, in fact, in the market, what are the demands of these technology related skills or competencies? Then finally, we thought that whether these competencies are co-demanded, like a cluster, like when the demand for one, whether the demand for other 2 or 3 different types of competencies is like bundle. So critical competencies, the group-wise technology-related competencies, and whether there are some core demands. So this is some academic thing here. I will give you some idea about competency literature. So here people talk about competencies, but mostly I will say this is the first one is very easy to understand. It's a complex combination of knowledge, skill, and ability. So in HR literature, people say KSNA, KSA model. So it's a combination of knowledge, skills, and abilities that allow an individual to successfully perform a task or an activity or function within the defined work setting. So remember, this is the key of the whole thing. So we are talking about competencies. So actually, in fact, it is about some knowledge, skill, and abilities to do some work. I will give you more clear ideas of knowledge, skill, and ability. So sometimes we apply for driving tests. So look, if you have you know about the road rules, then you say, I have knowledge, but I never took my car to learn to have the skill of driving. So you're still with the knowledge, not enough skill. So you drive in the road and learn the skill of driving. Then it's a skill you develop. See, this is the one step. So knowledge refers to know-how. This basically is coming from training, like at university, we teach students with some, we give some concept, ideas. These are knowledge-based. We just transfer the knowledge. So basically both theoretical and procedural knowledge. Skills are an observable competence for approaching job situation, which includes the application of working procedure and empirical tricks, talents, developed behavior, tools, techniques. So simply, as I said, driving is a skill. If you drive for, say, 120 hours, so you will develop the skill. So then ability is higher level, is farther up. You have the ability to do something like aptitude in performing a desired output that is proven and already established. Sometimes we ask from your previous employer about the reference letter or some existing employee to write about your ability to do this job properly. So it's more about a higher level thing. So these 3 things are coming together to talk about competency. Now, in academic literature, before I start on finding what type of skills are available in the job, are in demand in market, I did some literature review from existing, the competencies, research from supply chain. I found a list of competencies. It looks like shopping list, but not. But I will tell you, just you can see there one idea like supply chain fundamentals, analytical thinking. I'll just read the first column: operations and enterprise economics, data collection, computer literacy, teamwork, collaboration, leadership, problem solving, decision making, negotiation, planning, and accounting, accountability, customer focus, communication, interpersonal skills, awareness of the needs of others, continuous learning and adapt with change, warehouse management, transportation and distribution, sales and operations planning. You see that on the right-hand side, I have all the explanation, what does it mean, and also the references. Also, it's a huge research. Demand planning is very popular these days. Forecasting, inventory management, safety management, ERP system, KPI setting, strategy development, sustainability, risk management. So these are listed competencies from existing supply chain management literature. It's not only academic, it's also practitioner, like ethics. You see the ethics also has a model, like competency model. So I have picked up many of those competencies from academic and practitioner, the literature. Now it's time to group them. If you read articles like any consulting company reports or recruitment company, they mostly talk about these terms, soft and hard competencies. So soft and hard. So it's interesting. Soft is like behavioral, personal, like you can't see them every day. It's not, it's easy to measure. So mostly soft competencies are interpersonal, people are focused, behavioral, and they are basically in supply chain, like communication, teamwork, collaboration, leadership, problem solving, negotiations. This is very interesting because if you look at our courses and curriculums, it's really hard to adopt these skills within our courses in our assessment. But this is one of the things that normally we say is transferable. You gain some leadership experience in one office, you can work in another one, you can apply that concept. That's why we call it transferable mostly. And hard competencies are a bit technical. For example, like warehouse management, I will say the inventory management, forecasting, transport management. These are the hard and technical competencies. So in the market, people say, hey, we need both, but now at what degree? So that's the idea first, to know about them. We'll talk about this. From the results, you can see what is happening now. Another group of competencies people are talking about, technology specific. So they are basically, some people say, basically digital supply chain. So supply chain functions are becoming automated, driving an increased demand for digital and technical skills to manage this new digital environment and resources. That's why there are a new set of skills are coming. So these are related to emerging technologies, including digital literacy. You need to understand what are they, you need to work with them. Like, sometimes you use software, smart devices, tracking, tracing, this kind of thing. But there are interesting aspect here. Because we are talking about supply chain management, we are not talking about AI discipline. So in supply chain, we are using some technology things. So we are a user, we are not developer. So we need to know how to use them, instead of developing these tools and techniques. So there is there are some, differences here in terms of someone is from IT and someone is from supply chain. So we are basically user. So as a user, what type of knowledge we need to for technology aspect. In the literature, I found there are different types of frameworks. A group of people, they are using business, logistics, and management, 3 different categories of competencies. It's well known as BLM. Another one is Christopher. He's talking about T-shaped competency framework. Vertical one is technical. Horizontal one is mostly soft, like cross-functional general management things. Other literature is talking about managerial, technical, and cultural categories. Some literature is talking about functional, behavioral, and relational managerial. And supply chain manager, there was a research, they categorized them: general skill, functional skill, qualification, leadership, lots of variation in the in the literature. But If you look at the academic and non-academic areas like CILBS, Chartered Institute for Logistics, they have 8 different areas. And EPICS is much better. They have occupational, professional, workplace, and academic and personal, these different groups of competencies. Why we are working on it? Because these competencies, you see that is segregated everywhere. So you need to focus, you need to group them in a better way so that we can analyze our existing skills and what is lacking. And that's why I found that by summing up everything, basically I was focusing more on epics and then some of the literature. Then I found that it is good to have at least 4 different categories. This is first one is academic and cognitive. Some people, they separate it in 2, but I put it together, academic and cognitive. Academic means you learn something like foundation knowledge of supply chain. Cognitive, like you have like some skills like interpersonal. I will say that analytical thinking, problem solving, this kind of thing. Workplace, you see, when you go to work, and then could be teamwork, customer focus, negotiation, leadership, and other things. Personal, like your communication skill, and then say advances of the needs. I mean, you are aware of the needs of others, and continuous learning and all those things. So you have technicals are mostly supply chain related. Basically, if you look at the procurement, warehouse, distribution, and all the things connected with supply chain, these are technical. So based on the literature, I developed these 4 different groups of competencies, so to further work on the competencies. Now we have a tool now. Before you start the research, you need to gather all this information. Now I have clustered them. Okay, now what are the positions in supply chain? It was really hard to find a classification of different positions within the supply chain. In Australia, the government, Australian Bureau of Statistics, they have some classification, but from academic literature, McKinnon, he wrote a report in World Bank. I think that was very good. He developed some groups like managers on top, then planners, then blue-collar staff in the bottom. 3 different categories of supply chain staff. So if you look at them, and then it will be good for us to focus on what type of skills they have, what type of competency they need, this kind of thing. So that's why I thought it is good to have a classification scheme. There was a research, they found that supply chain planner and analyst are basically similar type of things. So they are mid-level. And then using this McKinnon's and Australian Statistics, Bureau of Statistics, and the information I developed, okay, it's good to have at least 3 different categories of positions, like manager, planner, and coordinator. Planner and analyst together, and coordinator. So based on these 3 and this concept, these 4 groups of competencies, I thought it is good to start the research. So now what I have done, I know what are the competencies, what are the positions. Then we went to the industry to figure out the data, and then I'll tell you the story. This research methodology have been tested for last 10 to 12 years. I have used it for project management 2 times, and it is well cited. So I thought, why not? I should use it here. So actually, I'm using abductive, methodology. So what I have done, identified the problem. So it's about supply chain skill competency identification. And then first thing, I developed a priori conceptual framework that you saw, this one. this one. Then we went to the industry. So empirical observation. It's all about job ads. So collected job ads and read the job ads contents and then figure out what are the competencies are in demand. Then boxing, like I have boxes, like 4 boxes. Now I have many things. So I will pick up which one will go where. It's a dumping like this. I have the information. Now I have 4 boxes. Now, okay, the paper will go there, white paper, pencil will go there. This way I have done the whole, I have completed the whole thing, and then I have developed the final competency framework. People say pattern matching. You can use the term. But to do this job, like here, conceptual framework is there, but empirical observation, you can use focus group, you can do survey, you can do case study, interview, you can do roundtable, and you can do content analysis of job ads. So I have used job ad content analysis. Why? There are many good things or bad things of every method, but I found job ads is the direct signal of a job requirements of competencies, where the employers are sending the signals to the market that, hey, this is what I'm looking from you. If you are ready with these skills and competency, why don't you apply? Then it's matching, yeah, supply and demand. So that's why it's easy, and directly we are hearing from the employer about their requirements. But alternately, we can go for case study. We can select HR people, there's some random pickup of some people who are working in recruitment. But sometimes it's biased because their perception will be reflected. But we have job ads, but it's a lack, some drawbacks like detailed insight into the rationale behind certain competency requirement. So this is also some negative thing, like, okay, they don't tell everything about why competencies, why they are looking for some competencies. So having said that, all the good thing and bad thing, I found still job ad is a good market signal about the competencies. If you look at this area, I did, as I said to you, 2013, I did this research of analysis of project manager competencies, where I have collected 762 jobs. It's very well cited. And Project Management Institute have kept this information in their knowledge base in there. And recently I did another one for Agile. A project manager is published in IEEE Engineering Management one. But we have other, and we did research only for managers, so it came up in magazine. And other than my 3 research, you see other people also doing a lot. So Sodhi was one of the key. And actually I read his article first, and I was so impressed. And then I have started my work. I am following him. And after that, many people are doing it. You see, there are many research where they do collect job ads and analyze data. So this is what I have done: literature review. I developed the competency model, research design, where I use content analysis of job ads. Then I have, of course, I have some selection criteria. I will tell you about this. And then we found all the competencies and we validated and then put them together and analyze the results. This table will tell you something. So as the whole research is based on Australia. And Seek Job is the source of online jobs. Like Michael Page and other companies also have, but everything is coming in Seek Job. So I know in Indonesia and Singapore, Malaysia, they also have English job sites. So every country has one. So this is Australia and New Zealand. We have very popular job site. And every job must be here. LinkedIn is another source, but it's duplicating things. So same thing. They put it here first. So the period where I have investigated is 2022 and 2021, a few years back. Then I have inclusion and exclusion criteria. I'll tell you, and then we found, for example, these are the job ads. So demand planner, and I put I have this kind of job ads. Another one is supply chain manager. You see, this is my source of data. So what I have done, we found that inclusions are basically for manager jobs: supply chain manager, logistics manager, warehouse manager, sourcing manager, procurement manager, operations manager, and all those. And we didn't add part-time jobs, sales manager, project manager. For coordinator position, we looked at supply chain coordinator, procurement coordinator, logistics coordinator, production coordinator, inventory coordinator. For planner and analyst, as I said, this is something we saw that previous research in another country, they saw that it's good to have these two different roles together because they are asking for the same thing. So supply chain planner, demand planner, production planner, and all those. So we ended up with 430 jobs for managers, 218 for coordinator, and 281 for planner. So in total, we came up with how many? 929 jobs. So I'll give you some descriptive information about these jobs. They are mostly from food, beverage, agricultural sector, transport, distribution and warehouse, manufacturing, retail, healthcare, few, government and public sector, mostly procurement jobs, military, they're a big number, building, construction, supply chain also. Yeah. So in these sectors are looking for these jobs. I know it's for Australia, but now after 2 years, I have checked again recently. The salary has increased, but the requirements are still same. So position and salary. So managers, on an average, so you see the salary is highest is $150,000 and per year. Coordinator 120, and then planner and analyst, supply chain related, and it's very similar to coordinator role. This is interesting. Perhaps many of us are waiting to see whether their requirements are in terms of degrees. So, in Australia, we have, these days we have degrees, supply chain and logistics management degrees in business school, but it's basically last 10 years, we have these disciplines, and for 5 years, many universities, they open. So most of those jobs are looking for, not everyone, only 24% job directly ask for a tertiary degree. So the majority of them are supply chain, logistics, operations, business, procurement, and engineering. So you see the demographic thing. So supply chain and logistics together and operations. So old days it was operations. Now then logistics. Now it's supply chain. So but we still have all. Some business discipline student, they put business, but in bracket supply chain. I used NVivo. I uploaded all the jobs, and then I read one by one with another researcher was helping me. So first I did it, and then I showed to another researcher. Then another researcher did like half of the thing. I did half of the thing, and then we cross-checked. So we found that, for example, in a job, when we saw that support and manage team, then we put it teamwork and collaboration. These are on the first right-hand side column, we call it first order code quotation. So code is like here. From job ad, we found this kind of information. manage teams workload, mentor or coaching team, create a team environment, bringing team together. This kind of information, when we saw, we just drag it to teamwork and collaboration in NBIBO. Again, for leadership, we read all the ads. So in a go, maybe you just go one by one. When I see, oh yeah, lead and supervise personnel to build team, and then yeah, provide leadership, then it's leadership. Inventory management. This way, I have given you some sample. So first we picked up the source information, then collected and put it under a second order theme or concept of competency. Then we know that based on our 4 big cluster, we call it aggregated dimension, we name them. So technical is inventory management, workplace is leadership, this kind of thing. So this way, I have conducted the analysis. So 929 jobs, and we found that in many cases, we have some, conflict of thinking like, okay, it will go there, it will not go there. Then we just have a meeting, several rounds, then we came up, we read more of the background, then we have decided, okay, it will not go there, it will go there this way. Around 92% cases were okay, but around 10% cases we had different opinion. We resolved these issues. So this is part of content analysis. I know people may talk about, hey, why don't we use AI? But it's not easy sometimes, interpretation. So look, this is what I have identified here. We obtained 32 competencies for managers, 30 for coordinators, and 31 for planners. So if we actually got around 40 or for each of those cases, but only 1 or 2% cases, we found there are some competencies, we removed them, just trivial, so many trivial, but we see here, for example, manager competencies. So we got 32 competencies for managers. The lowest was 2%. So below 2%, we just cut off. Look, this is an idea now. Look, if you are a manager, you can see, hey, do I have these skills? Academic, workplace, personal, technical. You see the colorful one, orange color, at the top 10. The top one, coming from job ads, they are mostly asking for 45.8% jobs are looking for communication skills, the highest out of 430 jobs. 43% is emphasizing on leadership, teamwork then, and others, you can see operations and enterprise economics. I have explained the definition before. And see, managers, they don't need many technical skills. They are mostly cognitive, academic, and workplace. And I will say mostly these two are more. Communication is everywhere, actually. Everyone needs to have communication skills. Look for the coordinator. Coordinator is a bit mid-level position. Supply chain coordinator, they coordinate. It's like after graduation, people work in few areas, and after that they get the role of coordination. It's almost entry level, but not the blue collar job. It's a coordinator. Look here, coordinator also needs to be more, needs to have more competencies from academic and cognitive, workplace and personal, less from technical area, because they are coordinating things across. See, perhaps you have seen one interesting thing here. You see here, we don't have much of sustainability things here. And the previous one, accountability is at the end, bottom, not much. Accountability, corporate responsibilities, and all those things. The last one is analyst and planner. They are a bit technical. Say demand planner, for example. Just think this way. They need to have data, computer, analytical problem-solving skills. They need to have inventory, demand planning, forecasting, ERP system, this kind of thing. On top of that, they need some communication and teamwork because you're part of the team. You do your work, you analyze the data, and then you need to pass it to someone else to interpret the results, to take action, to take decisions. So you are not alone. You need to work in a team, even though you're dealing with numbers. So this is something interesting, like teamwork and collaboration and communication. Yeah, this is one of the key things because these people I saw in Australia as planner and analyst, they think, oh, I know I'm a technical person. I'm good at doing all those things. I know the number very well, but they have lacking of communication skill. They can't talk with others. This is a very weak point, I will say, and they don't care about the teamwork. I know in a university setting, it's also big hard work for us to involve our students to do work together, and they fight, and then really hard, so this is an area where even some supply chain management student in other countries, they're coming from industrial engineering background, and they are very much focused on analytical things, not much on soft skills. So this is an idea to tell, hey, this is not enough. You need to, because one day you need to be a manager, you need to have those skills, you need to develop those skills. So these are the three areas I have. And look, after putting them together, I got this diagram. This is the model. This is a takeaway thing. Like this competency model I can use for all the three different groups, like managers, coordinator, and planner. So I have combined 30, 32, 31 all together. I got 34 different skills. This diagram is telling about what are the 4 dimensions of competencies, and under each dimension, what are the key competencies market is looking for. So I have developed from empirical data from industry. So now I think this one, every year we can go for industry data. You can look for data again and check the changes compared to previous year and so on. This is a benchmark. Like I have the structure now. Every year we can do the same analysis. So what are the changes? What are the things happening? Or maybe you can see new things are coming up. At least we need to have something. So I just thought that we should do a little bit of discussion of telling you, I have a few more minutes. Okay. If I put them together, you see managers, coordinator, and planner, it will be easy for you to understand what is happening here. See, communication, no excuse. Everyone wants communication. But if you look at the leadership, I know there are different ways of leading something. So, but normally we expect more leadership from managers. So that's why they have, this spiky thing, you see. And if you look at other things like demand planning, of course, this is not managers, they do, but mostly it's analyst and planner job. And then here, leadership, and here, problem solving. So problem solving, managers, they do solve the problem, like, use their common sense approach, but not analytical, like mathematical problem solving. There may be team problem, organizational problem, but mostly the problem solving things are related with, say, planner and analyst. They use different tools and techniques. So what I want to say here, the concentration of demand of individual competencies is different for different supply chain positions. So we can see that there are distinct sets of competencies we have identified for various supply chain roles, including managers, coordinator, planner, and analyst. Certain competencies are classified as high demand exclusively for manager position, while others are specific to coordinator, planner, and analyst role. Conversely, some competencies are in high demand across all positions. Then I put them together. So here I just aggregated this all academic workplace. And we found here, coordinator, they need all 4 different groups of competencies. The planner, they need more of academic and cognitive, and then technical. Managers, they are mostly, I will say similar, but I did also analyzing some statistical analysis, and we found there are no difference. So what I want to say that this group of people, they have to make their portfolio of competencies in across all the 4 different groups of competencies. So to obtain a position and to keep their job and to be competitive in the market. It's not much difference here, even though you can see. Then concentration of demand of competencies. So I did another cluster here. I just added all the 34 different, the frequency of demand. And we did analyze mean, standard deviation, and found all those things. And we found that the data is a bit right skewed towards the, the mean, but median is okay. So then I found that if we have 3 classification, so median is the standard, not the mean. Median plus 1 standard deviation, and then median plus and 2 median plus 1 standard deviation, and less than median. So we just divided them in 3 groups: high demand group, medium demand group, and least demand group. So we found this interesting, the classification, the managers, coordinator, and planner, the way they demand different types of, the competencies. So here one, so logistics manager, top competencies are mostly soft competencies. Coordinator, top high demand competencies are also soft competencies. Planner, they are mostly hard competencies. Then again, I found that medium demand competencies are technical competencies for managers. They are mostly warehouse management, safety, inventory management, sourcing. Coordinator position has medium demand competencies are ERP system, problem solving, analytical thinking, and other things. Planner, they are more about interpersonal skill, organizing, planning, customer focus. But it is interesting to see that there are many competencies, they are of least demand in these 3 cases. And most importantly, accountability, process improvement, and Six Sigma, awareness of need for others, sustainability, these are less demanded by these jobs. So even though we hear about, okay, sustainability, everyone is talking about that, we don't see much in the job ads. And yeah, there are some hard and soft competencies we saw. So, but the hard competencies are important, but without soft competencies, the hard competencies, you can't work on it. So it is necessary to have both the competencies. A few more slides. This is another one I found, the technology-specific competencies in demand. You see, when we identified many competencies, I found that these are the technology-related competencies. You see here, different role, different position are looking for different types of technology-related competencies: data collection, computer literacy, inventory management, analytical thinking, ERP, problem solving. You see the planner and analyst position are looking for more. Of course, managers need a little bit of that. But if you look at the particular one, computer one, you see ERP, MRP, advanced Excel, MS Office, warehouse management system, Visio. These are the mostly specified, the computer literacy things they are asking in the job. Even though we hear, okay, all about high techs, it is really surprising to see that automation, AI, cloud computing, blockchain, 3D printing are not mentioned in the job ad. So recently, actually, I did another search. I couldn't find much of those things. This is surprising, even though, because I know why, because in Australian companies, we still have legacy. So it's not easy. Everyone is talking about it's cost involved. We don't have people. We want to hire, bring a new technology. We don't have people who can work on it. So this is there are missing skill on demand in job ad to cybersecurity, cloud computing, and so on. Why? Because many Australian supply chain activities are still reliant on legacy system and traditional process that do not fully integrate modern technologies. The implementation of supply chain digitization may have been further delayed by the impact of COVID, but industry continues to embrace digital transformation, but it's slow. And this is happening. The final few minutes, and I found that there is another interesting thing that from NVivo, if you use Jaccard coefficient, we can find that these skills, when they ask for teamwork, they also ask for communication for, say, manager job, leadership, communication, teamwork, the way they are co-demanded. You see, this is co-demand. Problem solving and analytical thinking are coming together. So warehouse management and safety and continuous improvement are coming mostly together, and also warehouse operations management. Forecasting and sales and operations planning, they are coming together. These are clusters of competencies. For coordinator positions, see here, inventory management, computer literacy, data collection, so problem solving, they are connected. And how they are connected, I identified these from NVivo data. There's a lot of things, lots of data, but I have taken only the top level correlation things. So this one is for planner. So demand planning is connected with, this skill is connected with other skills. So this will give an idea of core demand of competencies. So the industry demands a diverse range of competencies from professionals across various positions. So this suggests that employers seek or want to hire some position can integrate multiple competencies to address multifaceted challenges of supply chain management. So in summary, what I want to say here, this research took the unique initiative to assess competencies based on job ads, information covering multiple supply chain management roles, managers, coordinator, and analyst. Most of these jobs require for tertiary qualified supply chain professional with at least an undergraduate degree in business logistics. Top 5 sought after soft competencies are communication, teamwork, leadership, customer focus, and interpersonal skill. Top 5 hard competencies are managing inventory. This is one of the key things, computer literacy, data collection, and analysis. So findings of the current study reveal a weak demand signal on accountability, sustainability, and industry for specific skills. So we have developed a theoretical framework. This framework can be used in many places, and also develop core demand of competencies. And we think that this is a good potential to talk about the market signal. And we also found that digital transformation is a hot topic, but we didn't see much. So we need to look at why. And practical, there are many applications of this. I will show you one. So these results can help job seekers to prepare job requirements. Supply chain organization can use competency framework and required competencies for employee assessment. Recruitment agencies, they can use it to prepare job ad. Previously, another research on project management were used by many recruitment companies. And higher education institutions, they can design, redesign, and improve their curriculum. For example, I have done it that day, last year, about analyzing a degree program. So demand side is from the job, and supply side, all the courses, whether they cover these things. So we just did this analysis of the existing offering, like ULB university can do it to check what courses whether the courses they offer within their course, how much the teamwork, how much the inventory management aspect they cover. So this is one, and then yeah, of course there are some limitations. So this is like I think that the scope of research can be extended to investigate trade-related job competencies. We have covered only mid-level and upper level. So, and also extended to compare the supply side competencies with demand side. So both, and then limitation of our approach is that job ad data does not allow us to perform in-depth analysis of the rationales and reasons behind competencies. So we can do some interview at this stage to cover up this issue. This study can be conducted in other countries on a continuous basis in every year so that we can see what are the trends. Yeah, this is like annual outlook of skills and so on. So that's all. Thank you all for having me. If you have any question, I'll try my best to answer.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ahsan. It's a very interesting topic. And I think it is a very good idea for us to look at the result of the research for the basis redesigning curriculum,
Yes.
especially in ULBI we have study programs like logistic management, and
Yep,
also
yep.
yeah, so it is very good idea so we can link and match with the industry.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can do
yeah,
that.
Dr. Ahsan.
Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Ahsan, let's move on to the Q&A session.
Sure.
And for participants, you can ask question directly to Dr. Ahsan. And also you can chat your question on the chat room. And we'll have some discussion about these competencies.
Please ask.
Yes.
Anyone.
I think they are in the process of typing the questions.
Sure.
And yeah, you can raise your hand and talk directly to Dr. Ahsan and have a little discussion. Yes, you can push the raise hand button there.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Yeah. Good that I have survived without any coughing. Sorry. Yeah, it's a bad season, COVID season. I got COVID
Oh, I see.
last week. It's okay now.
So how are you doing right now?
Yeah, I'm okay now.
Improving?
Yeah, I have lots of fluid. Yeah, coffee, tea.
So how long did you conduct the research, Dr. Ahsan?
This research actually is long. Actually, the idea I did in 2011-12 for project management, and 2017 for agile project management. You can see my paper in the Google Scholar. And this one I have started in 2017-18 initially. Another professor, Professor Shams, he retired now. He's like Newman, he's a vice chancellor. So we did together. Then COVID came. Then I started again in 2021 and 2022. It's really a tedious job because, if I'm a full-time professor here, so 929 data, but I enjoyed it because I know what's happening there. Then I'm a deputy head now. When I use our program, revision and other things, so these kind of results are helping. On top of that, SIPs also every year they develop something. So I have started in 2022, but I'm still watching. It's finished, but now I'm still watchful because these are dynamic thing. Market is changing. That's one risky thing here. If you look at this research from academic point of view, Every year you need to upgrade. What is happening? What is happening? What is happening?
Yeah, because the industry is changing so rapidly.
Yeah. If you look at SIPS, Chartered Institute for Purchasing and Supply, every year they do a survey of salary and the skill. So I like that idea. So if you guys are interested, so this is the model. So every year I saw that in Indonesia, Job Street or some company, they have job ads. So you can quickly look at those. If you have resources like few jobs, what is the market now? What skills are more in demand? What type of inventory management skill they want? What type of demand forecasting they want? Are they still looking for ERP? Or they're looking for something else. So quickly you can have a look and then see the market. And then if you have program refresh, and then you can interview some of the leaders. Say, hey, this is that I got from job ads. Are they real? What do you think about this? Then you can revise your program. I think this is really practical in terms of our academic institutions. And academic research also, no problem. You can do it, and you can do rigorous statistical analysis of different correlation, even the, interview and case study. So many things we can do. But I am not doing much. I think it's too much. So I'm just I finished. I'm just writing it for a journal. After that, I will just work on the practical aspect of this research.
Yeah, okay. I see. I will definitely cite your papers.
If you are...
Okay. I'm really interested in competencies for vocational students. Okay, Dr. Ahsan, we have... Yes, vocational students. Dr. Ahsan, we have question here from Mohis Haryanto on the chat box. He asks, Dr. Ahsan, Indonesia is a kind of archipelago country. Is there any specific competency related to SCM so it can be implemented effectively?
I will say this type of competency framework is quite universal, I can say. I can generalize it, but you go more in depth for Indonesia to apply it locally. You need to look at, I say, demand planning, for example. What type of demand planning things are looked by Indonesian jobs? So you can customize it, but the general thing is there, like broader aspect of competencies but nitty-gritties that I have said here, you can't develop it for Indonesia by looking at local jobs. So like this, like actually what they are looking for. So demand planning, extensive understanding. So if you want to localize, you check from Indonesian side what they're looking for. In general, I would say not much difference, because many of the things I took from academic literature and epics and SILT. So they are quite universal, because when you said supply chain, we talk about supply chain sourcing, procurement and warehouse management, distribution. They are generic everywhere. But now the degrees, what type of, at intensity may be different. So these could be local. So in that case, maybe the frequency will vary, but it will be still there. Or more specific, or maybe ERP will not be that highly demand thing, maybe more about forecasting. But I will say Indonesian aspect, the competencies will not change, but the frequency of the competency, or more specific, what to do under that competency may be a little bit different. And I know that Noman has a certification, international supply chain, something. You see, if you look at their credential, what are the skills they are looking for, you can check also. But ethics one is bigger. That's why I took the ethics.
Okay.
It will not change much.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the next question from Mr. Arwin. He asks, Dr. Ahsan, how can each candidate's competencies be measured? especially their communication, teamwork, and collaboration skills. Thank you.
So thank you. It's a good question. We are, yeah, this is hard in a workplace to come. There are some organization they have measuring things like communication, but before you go for that, like where are the say communication, say verbal communication, effective communication, this kind of thing. Normally we say that written, verbal, this kind of thing. But measuring things are not easy, I will say, but you need to have this communication skill. But when they take interview with someone, they observe how do you talk, how do you speak, and then when you start the job and they observe, your boss will observe you, how do you communicate with others when you write, how do you talk with others, can you express what you are supposed to say. So these are like daily things, but it's not maths, but KPI. Of course, your boss is observing you when you do annual or review. They will say, hey, this is you need to improve this thing because we found that you didn't write it properly, even though there was a clear indication of the what to do. So you didn't communicate with the client properly, or this is really like verbal and communication skills. So we don't have any number, but we have subjective way of checking the communication skill. And this is one of the key things. Even in Australia, many international students come here for job and they have lack of communication skill. Now, how do they measure? They interview them. They just say, yeah, do you understand the slang? Do you understand everyday communication, like in supply chain aspect, dealing with clients, dealing with basic things? So they check email, talking over the phone, face-to-face meeting, presentation skills, this kind of thing. You express yourself and you pass the information properly on time. So this is what I feel like communication is very important. But unfortunately, in teaching and learning space, we don't do much. We have only presentation, yeah? But at work, you learn a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Okay, we have another question.
Sure.
Mr. Muhammad Natsir. Hi, Mr. Ahsan. I'm currently purchasing stuff in mining industry, but
Wow.
my education background is communication studies, and it's not operation or supply chain studies. And then he said he studied LSCM autodidactically from e-learning platform like Udemy or Coursera, LinkedIn Learning, etc. Is it relevant for me to gain better career?
That's a good question. Yeah. Okay, listen, supply chain management. These days we have a degree on supply chain management. In Australia, we see in many countries, I saw even in Japan, your intention is the main. I have knowledge, I have everything, but I have positive, negative attitude to learn, to do the work, then you are not the right person. So I saw a material science student, they work for Nestle. How come? Say, hey, I like the discipline. When I studied material science, but when I have started to work on, I found, oh, this is what I like. Then person showed his interest. And whenever there is an opportunity, they jump on. So I saw recently at Nestle, Australia, one guy, his degree from environmental engineering, he came up in supply chain. And he said, hey, I don't mind to learn. This is the main thing, my attitude of learning. So we all learn every day from each other. So if you have positive attitude of learning, you are in the right place. So you don't have degree, maybe initially people will suppress you, but you have the intention to learn. You go ahead, you know what are the skills necessary. You learn from academic, and also when you start the job, your subordinate or your boss will tell you. And then on job training is more important. And then look for a niche area you like procurement, maybe sustainable procurement, maybe green environmental or social procurement. You look an area, you develop your career, you learn, you upgrade your skill. You know that when the organization, like you have professional development opportunity, you grab it, and take short courses and learn from yourself. These days, learning has no restriction. I will say most important thing is intention. Even though you are from different discipline, if you are positive about learning, go ahead. And you are the winner. And we have many people here and all over the world. I saw they are not originally from supply chain discipline. They are not in supply chain discipline, but they develop the skill. See, I was a student of industrial engineering. That time there was no supply chain. When I was student, Newman was student. And that time it was material handling and other things and operations management. Then slowly supply chain discipline came, we grab, we understand, we like it, we read it, and we are in this discipline. Now we are giving PhD to supply chain. But my degree is industrial engineering. This is an example. Even in industry, it is happening.
Yes. Okay, interesting. Okay, let's move on to the next question. It is from Ibu Mania. She said that she tried to search your publication in Google Scholar, Dr. Ahsan, but she still has trouble finding the right title of your research results.
My research, yeah. Okay, I
Uh-huh.
am not popular then. So I'll look for yeah. I'll look
Maybe
for
you
it.
maybe the keyword is Dr. Ahsan.
Yeah, you can say Kamrul. I'll show you my
Okay.
okay. Okay. So I'll not share now. I'll share. Yes, it's me. So look, can you see me now?
Yes.
So here, see, recruiting project manager. This is one. Okay. And the one, agile project manager. See, one. And then, see, another one, agile, job ads. And I have another one I forgot in 2021 or 2. Sustainability, yep. This one. Expert system. Yeah, this one is in material handling. Yeah. So yeah, I think you can get it when you search me from RMIT website or something. Yeah, this is me.
Okay.
It's proved. Yeah, so if you
Yes.
are interested, I'm happy. And not only that, I do research these days on, I will give you another seminar if you like. I will talk to Newman. I do research these days on systematic review. And it's good for PhD student or new staff. I did a lot these days. So this one is with my PhD student. So this one, another one is contract cheating at university. And another one is e-tail. So I do lots of research. So I'll give you another seminar in the future about how to do publish, not only do actually on using systematic review.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. We have another question from
Sure.
Mrs. Melia. Okay. So, Dr. Ahsan, what is the best strategy to improve employee skills in the SCM department? So, do you mean in the department at work or at campus? I
I
think
will
it is
say,
at work.
thank you. At work. So at work means industry, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, this is something interesting because the first thing is your employer should have a positive attitude of talent management. So some people, they want ready-made people. Okay, they don't want to invest, This is not good. Like you invest on your people. This will be an asset for you. This will be a resource. So So new technology is coming. So for example, we have these days no forklift in warehouse, mostly the electric vehicle, driverless vehicle, or some new things are coming. So in that case, if we train those existing people to the new area, so you need to have investment. I know some people are saying, hey, why I have to invest if I get it them ready-made? So for organization, actually, they should have training development, the program for employees, because it's all about talent management for their professional development. And also every year, like professional bodies like Supply Chain Association or something, they need to send them, or they need to do upskilling like workshop or something. I think this is part of continuous improvement. So on-job training and also professional development should be taken care of by the employer, because it's part of continuous learning. If they don't do it, in the market, there may be plenty of ready-made available resources, or they don't want to waste their money, invest on upscaling or talent management thing. But big organizations, they are investing a lot. They consider their employee as an asset, because if you hire someone for a year, it's not easy. You hire, it takes 2 months, and then you bring them on board. You train them up, and then you taught them. And after 6 months and 1 year, if that person leaves, you're losing a lot. You need to keep them in your system, in your work, in your organization. Otherwise, organizations are losing people. So big organization, they are doing it well, but small organization, they are not investing on it. I think it's organization's duty.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have last question here
Sure.
for today's session from Mrs. Krisnawanti. She asks, how critical is it for students to be adequately prepared for careers in project management, particularly in light of the current curriculum's limitation? Second question, which courses do you believe are most effective in providing students with the essential skills required for success in this field? Okay, thank you.
Project management, yeah. I taught project management last 4 years. I haven't taught any project management course, but I can tell you 15, 20 years I taught project management. But one thing is, in terms of project management, it's a professional degree. So you better go for PMP, Project Management Institute, PMI, and they have different certifications. So I will say, as a student, after finishing your bachelor degree in project management, if you take the certified associate in project management qualification, it's only about learning. It's a knowledge base, actually. I said knowledge. So it's knowledge based. You need to have a project management course for 36 hours, something like that. And then you sit for the test. So you should have some, on top of educational qualification, you can have professional body qualification. So if you have CAPM certification, you are a bit ahead of others. So, and also when there is an opportunity in everywhere, like in your university, you see small project, you take up leadership role, even the 4 or 5 members team. Normally, teamwork is a maximum like 4 to 8, 7. Team will be the ideal to lead a team. Actually, too many members will be a bazaar. So 4 or 5 members team, you lead the team, slowly you gain the leadership in project. So CAPM degree from PMI is one of the key things you can look for. And that will give you a bit positive stand in the market compared to others. Those have nothing. So this is one. And then course aspect, project management these days, of course, there are many, knowledges in project management. We call it project management knowledge areas. So once you have all the understanding, that's fine. But again, after learning this thing, do you want to work in IT? Do you want to work in construction? If you want to work in IT area, you need to have IT related background. So, and you can't jump on as a manager. So in that case, you need to have little bit of IT project related knowledge and experience, also credentials like agile, you know, agile related certification. So it depends. Project management is in general, but if you want to go for IT area, you need to look at agile and all those aspects. If you go to construction, that's totally different area. So it depends. If project management is the overall degree, but it depends on application area. But I suggest CAPM is the best, Certified Associate in Project Management. Later, when you develop your career in the project management, maybe you have plenty of experience, like 4,500 hours of experience in different role of project manager. Then you can apply for project manager certification, PMP, and even higher. So it will come later, but you do CAPM first and take small opportunities around you to work as a project coordinator, small leader in a small team. So that will give you credentials and proof that you can work in a team, because project is always working in a team.
Okay, see.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have two last questions. I'm going to read them very quick. The first one from Mr. Chakra. He asked how to keep inventory stock to prevent overstock and outstock. And the second question is from Mr. Fendi. He's a procurement staff member in the SCM division of a project-based company. He asked that is his experience considered relevant enough to support his career advancement in SCM and potentially allow me to work in another country? I'm also interested in understanding what specific skills I should develop if I want to transition into a manufacturing-based industry, which has different SCM characteristics. Additionally, I'd appreciate any guidance on how to obtain internationally recognized certification or credential. Thank you.
Thank you. So first one is inventory. It's really hard because in most of the the consumer goods like supermarket products are push based. We predict the demand and we stock the demand. We need to have the inventory. We always try to keep less. We call it lean. But the problem is it's not always perfect. Yeah, forecast based. Yeah, we forecast and then we stock, and then our suppliers are not very close. So if within 2 or 3 weeks there are some uncertainties in demand, sometimes we stock out. Or if the demand is less, we have excess. It's really hard. Every day we struggle on this matching supply and demand, mainly the stock level, because inventory is waste. If you can't sell the stock, it doesn't make any sense. So we need to clear up all the stock and then make it sales. We always have problem of stock out. It's very common. That's the life of a supply chain professional. How do you manage it? So sometimes you need to have reliable supplier very close to you. Maybe the cost will increase then. So again, if you have huge stock, I think it's a dilemma. Lots of factors working here, and also depends on type of product. So in Australia, we have this issue. We buy most of the things from overseas. So what does it mean? The lead time is too long. So in that case, we need to have more stock. So why? Because if something goes wrong, you will be stock out. So we stock a lot. So what does it mean? The cost of the product will be higher because inventory is not cheap. It's cost involved. So then who is paying? Customer. But in the market, it's really hard, to compete with others. If someone has less stock and very reliable and local and just-in-time supplier. So I will say there are no silver bullet here. It depends on case, but these days AI is helping a lot in terms of updating your forecast, market demand, if you can have not only quantitative data, qualitative and different types of data putting together, perhaps you can get better understanding of market demand and have reliable and established and collaborative supplier so that they can replenish it quickly and on time. So this is something I think is key because you need to understand the market and at the same time you need to work with your supplier. So these two things together can help, but it's really hard to say perfect. You can't do perfectly, match supply and demand. So this is my understanding, and we struggle a lot, sometimes underestimation, overestimation. But AI is helping some aspect to understand the demand properly. So real-time demand, we used to do forecast for a year, once a year or twice a year. But now because of that, we forecast even every second, every hour, because if you are up to date in terms of technology. So this is the area where we need to work hard because we are from supply chain, but we don't have much knowledge on AI. Perhaps someone can help to develop that skill or that that tools. This is one. I hope I have answered you. And then second one is procurement. I would say procurement is very good area for supply chain professionals. And many students, they talk about supply chain. It's a male-dominated industry. It's not. And many people think supply chain is a truck focus. It's a big trucks only. So no, supply chain is coming with many things. The procurement is an area where, who is the highest procurer in the world? Defense, the government sector, health sector, Department of Defense, public sector. So procurement, they do buy lots of things. So if it is on the right hand, you can do it well. So what does it mean? We need the right professionals. So procurement is not only buying, buying responsibly and maybe the contract management, selecting supplier, onboarding, monitoring, all those things. And these days, sustainability is also coming. Lots of things you need to look at because also if something goes wrong, they will blame you. So if you are doing a procurement job, I would say very good job. Women also doing well in this sector. Public procurement is very popular in Australia and many countries. So we have Chartered Institute for Purchasing and Supply. So it's an institute from UK and many countries in the Australia, New Zealand, UK, Singapore. I'm sure in Indonesia as well. They are aligned with CIPS, Chartered Institute for Procurement and Supply. You can see their degree and they also give you certification that you are chartered member of procurement and they have different fellows and other things. If you are a member of CIPS, and it means you are a professional procurement person, so you can put that credential for any job, so that will give you a very good upper hand in the job market. You can work globally. I will say you can work globally if you have that kind of certification. So any company will take you. Okay, you are certified by Chartered Institute for Procurement and Supply. They have some coursework like PMI, Project Management Institute. This is CIPS, like CA, Chartered Institute of Accounting. So CIPS is very popular in many countries. You can work, if you have that degree, you can work in World Bank, Asian Development Bank, any public sector, and globally. So you can prove yourself, hey, I'm such and such. So you will be on the same level. So if you're keen, I will say you better focus on that. And manufacturing area is a bit private. So procurement of raw materials, they do mostly, and procurement of semi-finished goods. So it depends. So you can work on it even with SIPs, nothing wrong. But procurement is for public sector is very popular. Very popular. I wish you all the best. I think this is a good profession for many of our students.
Yes, that's right.
Even in defense, you can work.
Yeah. Okay, so all questions have been answered nicely by Dr. Ahsan. We are reaching the end of our session for today, Dr. Ahsan. Before we end it, we would like to have a photo session just for a minute. Okay, please, participants. Yeah, turn your camera on. Yes, nice. And Mr. Operator, can you help me to, uh,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm coming. Yeah.
Okay, let's start. Don't forget to smile. Yeah. Next screen.
Okay, next screen.
Yes.
And last screen.
Okay.
Well done.
Okay, so we are done. Okay, once again, thank you very much, Dr. Ahsan, for this wonderful session this afternoon. Yeah, I hope we will see you again on our next session of will be global lecture. And
Okay.
for your information, everyone, today is our last meeting for this semester, and we will definitely meet again on the next semester with our adjunct professor, and we hope to see you again, Dr. Ahsan.
Thank you. Terima kasih, Widya.
Terima
Terima kasih
kasih,
sama-sama.
sama-sama. Terima kasih semuanya sudah hadir. Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Okay, goodbye. See you
Thank
again
you for having
soon.
me. I wish you all the
Yeah,
best. ULBI,
thank
yeah,
you.
it's a good university, new
Yes,
university. Yeah. Okay.
yes,
Yeah, I'll be in touch with
okay.
Newman. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you, Kezia. See you next semester, everyone. Bye, yeah. Thank you, Chakra. Goodbye. See you again later. Gracias. Okay.